Hello there and welcome to the RaceRoom Esports Test Race 2021. My name is Robert Wiesenmüller. I will take you through the evening here. So what we've got coming up, it's a test for the new esports season. Lots of new features in RaceRoom, couple of new cars, couple of new tracks, and yeah, a few changes, maybe a few bugs as well. And we just want to give it a good test before everything starts, before it gets serious. So yeah, nice to have you here in the chat as well. I will try to keep my eye on the chat. And also on the races today, we've got the GT3 race coming up first here at Hockenheim. 40 minutes mandatory pit stop, rolling start for the very first time in RaceRoom Esports. And then afterwards we switch our attention to the WTCR cars, where we'll go to the Hungaroring as always, of course, a well-known track, always the first track on Esports WTCR season. There we will do a 14-lap race. Lap races are a new thing now as well in RaceRoom. And then afterwards a very short one-lap sprint race to test the reverse grid and the session swap, if that also still works. And yeah, we've got plenty of good drivers here, and actually let's go straight onto the server, I would say, and take a look at who's racing today in the esports test race. Here we go, practice session already almost over, and we are on board with Michael Rechel, who's returning to RaceRoom Esports after a one-year break. An injury didn't allow him to participate in the races. He's second behind Moritz Löhner, the most successful driver in RaceRoom Esports probably in the last year. At least he won the Porsche Carrera Cup, he won the ADAC GT Masters, and he also won the DTM Esports Championship. So, very successful Moritz. Also streaming today in the brand new Audi. Audi R8 LMS was already part of RaceRoom for a long time. First in the Ultra version, then in the normal version, I would say. And now the Evo version. And it seems to be pretty quick. Löhner leading right now ahead of two Corvettes, Michael Rechel and Attila Diener. Diener here in P3. Switched to T3 Esports, and I think he's one of our camera cars as well. We'll be testing that as well. See if we can see him. Yes, we can. There's Attila, one of the up-and-coming drivers. Young talent back at T3 Esports, left for a little bit, but now he's back. That team is also in the real GT Masters. It'll be great to see him, how he does here in the race. So what we've got coming up first is a 10-minute qualifying session. Drivers try to set the fastest time. And we'll see in the race with the rolling start, with the mandatory pit stop. A couple of challenges for the drivers, especially with the pit limiter. Works a bit differently now. Got a good mix of cars, Porsche here, BMW as well. We've got a McLaren on the server, we've got an older Audi, and we've got a few Mercedes. That's pretty nice, unfortunately. No Bentley. I was hoping maybe we could see a Bentley here, because it might be quite good on this track, as the BMW spins off on the entrance of the Motodrome. Oh, we should also have the sound of the cars. We didn't have that before, but that's the reason why we run the test. And we can see the McLaren in the pit lane. It should be Armin Tamzarian. I think Armin Tamzarian, that's the name of the guy from The Simpsons, right? From Seymour Skinner, the real name from the director of the school there at The Simpsons. I'm not sure if that's the actual name, Mr. Armin here, but good to see him here representing McLaren on the grid. That is all on track, and as always, almost like a race session already in the qualifying. One of the green Porsches there. It's not Sokovikov, it's actually Benedek. It's in a straight-up battle. Car in front of him, that's Mackenberg. Mackenberg was the fastest on the leaderboard. There was no qualifier here, it was just a sign-up. If you wanted to take part, then everyone could, and I'm sure a few of you are also taking part in the WTCR races coming up afterwards. Yeah, good to see him here. Good to see the Porsches also back on the pace. Be very interesting to see how that plays out. We expected a few more BMWs, to be honest, because that car was very fast on the hot lap competition at Brands Hatch. we hosted. Jack Keithley won it there. But, yeah. Doesn't seem to be the case here. A lot more slow corners than happens. Moritz Löhner warming up the tires. They're on fixed setup at the moment, so you can't change the tire pressures. Already had some reports, especially in WTCR, that the tires are kind of cold. Now Löhner starting his hot lap. So let's go on board with him here. One lap around the Hockenheimring. Not much has changed, but the track limits have changed a little bit. More lenient here in the first corner, a bit more strict in the final one. Bunky fastest in the first sector so far in the Mercedes. Bunky, of course, Esports WTCR champion in 2018. And you can see also Moritz Löhner listed as a privateer, not part of the Williams Esports roster anymore. That applies to a few drivers who are going to change teams here. Not revealed where he's going yet, but also Benz Bunky, Michael Rechel and Florian Hasse looking for a new team, or maybe already having found a new team. Definitely changing from their respective teams like Red Bull Racing Esports or Euronics Gaming. Löhner through the hairpin. We always see a lot of incidents. Coming up to the Mercedes Tribune. Difficult braking zone in the GT3s, easy to lock up. Then trying to take this corner as flat as possible. He can't take it flat here in the Audi. Maybe it's possible in the BMW, but I guess it's very hard in the GT3 cars to take that flat out. Entry Motodrome. You can see the beautiful yellow Audi R8 LMS Evo. He's setting the fastest time in the Mercedes. Caserta in second. Absolute Motorsport. And Hasse and Mackenberg. Couple of drivers probably with track limits here. Let's see where Löhner slots in. Purple in second sector. P1 for Löhner, 38.3. Nice to see, nice opening time. Benz Bunky is already faster again in the first sector. Why are we racing GT3 cars today? Well, that's first of all because they are one of the most popular classes, or maybe the most popular class in sim racing in general. And of course, two of our series that we had last year, the GT Masters, and also now the DTM, which are switching to GT3 cars. Well, they are using the GT3 cars, so nothing confirmed so far in terms of the championships, if they're gonna happen, in which form they're going to happen. But definitely worth giving these cars a good test here. And probably it won't be the last one. And then with WTCR, of course, that's another class that's very popular. Both the whole class for Esports WTCR, also always on the ranked multiplayer servers, and then also in the Cupra Sim Racing series, where we race only with the Cupra, but yeah, it's also a TCR car. Always good to see. Bunky lost some time in the second sector. Let's just wait for him if he can improve his lap. Hasse and Pinsesh also on an improvement. Same goes for Mihai Neg. Varian there in the foreground. Cross the line, and Bunky Ace in P5. Times are very close. You can see there Rechel, Pfeiffer, Ottaviani, Bunky all within 2/10, Hasse just behind. Here we can see Christa Jöns, and that's nice to see him here in the race because he drove this car in real life. He participated in the ADAC GT Masters, not in the esports season, but in the real season. Great to see him here, give this car a shot in the virtual scene as well. Currently P20, but on an improvement as well. Hasse in another Audi. Audi very popular here in this race. I'm sure if it's because it's fast or if it's because it's new. We will find out, but Löhner definitely on the provisional pole position right now. And one car that we expected quite a lot of, and is the Porsche, especially on a track like this. Kirill Sokovikov, our second camera car for the night, sitting in P11. Taviani actually the fastest Porsche in P4. Löhner, Hasse and Bana are currently on an improvement, so let's switch to them. Löhner should be the furthest one on track. No, Hasse is. Hasse is not on the purple sector anymore. See where Löhner is. He's just coming out of the hairpin. Let's just check where Bana is. He's a bit further ahead. So Hasse should be the first one to finish the lap, but he's behind Tamzarian. It's been a bit slower in practice. Ooh, Florian Hasse there slotting in the gap. But that may have cost him some time. In the last corner you can see you can't run fully out anymore. If you track limits, Hasse up to P5. Out of Bunky. Löhner. Pfeiffer and Rechel now also in purple sectors. Yes, very warm welcome to everyone who's watching here. Nice to have you around. We'll stay on board for the RaceRoom Esports races. That will definitely come up this season. That's a cut from Löhner, pretty sure. Yeah, it doesn't show an improvement. It shows an improvement at the bottom, but not on the left side. That's one of the few issues that we still have to fight with. And Max Pfeiffer. It's gone up to P3. He's still at the ERC team, so him and Dina were teammates last season. Dina swapped back to T3 Motorsports, or T3 Esports. So Pfeiffer now, at least for this race, all alone. He's been one of the guys who's been up and coming. Of course, this race is also always a sort of a talent showcase. Benedikt Hofmann is one of the guys that I was expecting to be a little bit higher up, since he's been very fast on the ranked servers. So driving in the BMW, switching to the Porsche here, because perhaps the Porsche is looking a bit quicker around Hockenheim, which makes sense with the hairpin. But yeah, currently in P16 just shows the quality of the field. I mean, Pitsesh, P12, that's not where we expect him to be. Also have one of the older Audis. Luciano Witvoet from the Netherlands, driving for Ballas Esports. Oh, and Attila Dina. Attila Dina goes to provisional pole position, and that is a surprise. We can still see Sokovikov because Dina just disconnected from our camera feed, and the moment he set the time, maybe he doesn't want to risk it. That he's yeah, with his connection here, but let's actually see. Qualifying just about to end. Bunky is still on the lap. Everyone ahead of him has already driven to the pits, and Bunky's second sector again. It's not so good. The Mercedes seems to have lost a little bit of his power that it had in the previous season. Of course, the Mercedes was the winning car, the GT Masters, in most of the races, and also in the championship. This time, it's not looking as OP, and Ben Spunky already complained a bit that it's very difficult to drive. See when he comes across the line if he can improve. Yeah, he can, up to P5, nice time. But Attila Dina will be on pole position. Final 10 seconds, we should have the results pretty soon. There we go, Attila Dina, pole position, ahead of Löhner, Rechel Pfeiffer, so all German top 4. Ben Spunky in 5th, Ottaviani in 6th, and Hasse, Bana, Pinsesh, and Mihai Nek rounding out the top 10. Christa Jöns, our driver who's experienced in the real car, he's in P18, so left quite a few guys behind him, and Armin Tamzarian in P24, rounding out the grid. I think Duke Desan was also there. Car still dipping a little bit into the track, as we are waiting for the time to count down. 40-minute race, mandatory pit stops, between 25 and 75% of the race distance. And I have no idea how the Rolling Stars looks on the broadcast, so we will see how this turns out, if it's cool, if it's not cool. Definitely one of the advantages of the Porsche taken away by the rolling start if it works. You can see it. On the right side from our point of view, Löhner on the left. Oh, small camera switch to Tamzarian. And there we go, race is on. Attila Dina takes the lead of the race ahead of Moritz Löhner. Ottaviani already in the side-by-side. Staying ahead of Florian Hasse. Oh, and Dina is under pressure at the front. We already have a confirmation that we lost all the broadcast overlays at this rolling start. That is not nice. That is something that definitely will have to be fixed, so it just makes my job a little bit harder there. Löhner in the yellow car, Dina in the first of the Corvettes, fighting for the lead, and Michael Rechel is behind him. Pressuring them, and Bunky is going for it. Oh, and Ottaviani runs into the back. No, that was not Ottaviani, that was Florian Hasse. Florian Hasse ran into the back there of Max Pfeiffer, costing a position. Dina and Löhner side by side. Oh, Dina squeezing Moritz Löhner. Now on the outside you can see him now on the screen as well. But he has to concede against Moritz Löhner. And now Michael Rechel in the second Corvette with the number 1, putting the pressure on the young German. One young German fighting with another. Rechel has the inside, but this is not a good corner to pass. Oh, Dina a bit off the line. This helps Löhner already a lot. And Spunky behind him. And Ottaviani and then Florian Hasse in P6. Once again, I'm sorry, we have no broadcast overlays, but that's good that it happens now in the test and not in the season. Bunky attacking, or P3. Rechel is covering it pretty nicely here. Let's see the speed differences. Florian Hasse. Not a good exit from Florian Hasse. Actually, Ottaviani is the one who is attacking. Car ahead, white and purple Porsche. Attacking Ben Spunky. Gets the inside. Bunky late on the brake. Bunky way too late on the braking. Oh, and Bunky spins around Attila Dina. That's a shame there. Attila just getting going again. We missed him a little bit. There he is. He's in P18. You can't see it, unfortunately. But, yeah, that's been a disaster. And what happened to Bunky? Is he still going? He's in a massive battle here. Max Pfeiffer in the blue Audi in the middle of it. And the outside in the green Porsche, that's Martin Bahner. Ooh, and there's Adam Pinsash almost losing control, almost flying off. This is the battle around P6. Ben Spunky in P6 currently. Moritz Löhner now, he's got a clear lead ahead of the rest of the field, and Ottaviani is in second. Ottaviani white and purple Porsche here. A little bit of black, the Iron Force car. Unfortunately, they are not racing anymore in this livery. They had an Audi last season, I think, in some of the races. And Florian Hasse following him in P3. On board with the German, Florian Hasse. And Ottaviani completely overshoots the corner. But he compromises the exit of Hasse, so Hasse is not even through yet. Yeah, the graphic, it just died. We just started the race and it's gone and can't start it. So, yeah, that's sad. But that's why it is a test race. Because these things will happen. Bunky off the track again. What is going on and what is going on in this battle here? Bunky will probably have a massive slowdown for the re-entry here. As he is behind Adam Pinsash. Still for P7. That's Luciano Wittwood in the older Audi. Car with the number 3. He's right behind them. Let's go on board with Wittwood in P9. Oh, and Bunky's taking the slowdown there. Yeah, we also have the pit stops coming up, but only 5 minutes have gone so far, so pit window not open yet. Another 5 minutes to go, and then we will see who will be the first one to come to the pits. Something happened here to Pablo De Stefanis. The Italian in P22 had a spin with the Porsche. A couple of drivers have been in issues here. Arthur Langenfeld even further behind. And Tamzarian is still in the Motordrome. And what happened to Dirk Desan? He's just entering the Motordrome with a massive dent in his Audi and some massive problems to just get the car going again here, it seems like. Cypher's the next one who's been off the track. Down to P20. That has really gone really downhill for him. Michael Rechel, who lost a few positions in that bunky chaos at the start. At least he's still up to P4, so he's behind Ottaviani now. Moritz Löhner just gapping the field. 2.74 seconds is the gap at the moment for Moritz Löhner, who's this car who's in first. So since you can't see the timing or anything, let me just take you through the field. So that's Moritz Löhner, he's first. Hasse in second in the Audi. Ottaviani, Porsche in P3. And Michael Rechel in P4. In the Corvette, Martin Bahner in the Porsche in P5. The Audi behind, that's Adam Pinsesh. There you go. P7, Luciano Wittvoet in the older Audi. Then Bunky recovering in P8. Sokovikov, one of our camera cars. Let's see if we can have the camera on the screen. There he is. At least our camera still works. Sokovikov in the green Porsche. He's in P9 and behind him in the black Porsche. That's Mihai Nek. Fastest BMW at the moment in P17. Dennis Schöps from Sweden. Seems the closest battle is right in front of them. This is Benedikt Hofmann, P11, just outside the top 10 therefore. Oh no, that's neck around. I think they call it the Constantino effect. One car breaks ahead, other car doesn't quite brake as much, and then it creates kind of a traffic jam. And Mihai Nek was caught up in it, down to P17. Hofmann into the top 10. Welcome Steve, our helicopter pilot. Survived Macau in the Cooper Sim Racing Series last season. While trying to find the cars behind this nice Porsche building that they built here on the virtual version in the last year as well. Came as a free update. Hockenheim 2020 textures and buildings. And that's Martin Bahner in the Porsche P5 at the moment. Oof! Big moment for Michael Rechel. On the gravel. Off he went. And great to see also Christa Jöns still in the race. In the silver, red and black Audi there. And he has moved his way up to P12. In this big battle group, but the guy behind here, the last place of the battle, it's an interesting one because that's Attila Dina, that's the pole sitter. And he's making his way back up the order, passing Ville Kreivi, the driver from Finland. The inside, and he gains the position up to P14. Mihai Nek meanwhile in P17 up to P16 now, right behind him, fighting with Dennis Schöps, and the BMW has just been passed. Yeah, no joker laps here, but the drive-thrus are kind of like a joker lap, and I think some of you have already experienced it themselves. Right now, with the way it works at the pit lane, it's a bit strict. So sometimes even when you're on the ref limiter, if you drive in the first gear, or if you drive too hard from the pit box, it will jump and it will go over the speed limit, and you will pick up a drive-through. Watching Caserta now in the black and red Porsche here, P11 behind Hofmann. And yeah, first driver's coming into the pits meanwhile. That's Marvin Mackenberg. Let's see if it works out for him as we see this nice metal pillar. But yeah, very easy to get a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The workaround at the moment for the drivers is not to use the first gear, but rather use maybe a higher gear. And also to be a little bit careful when you leave the pit box, for example, like here. Not that careful, bit of wheel spin. But I think it should be fine for Mackenberg. Can't see if he gets a penalty anyway, because we have no overlay. But that aside, Mackenberg leaves the pits and everything's looking good for now for the German. Who's got a twin brother, Sven Mackenberg, who's also driving in the competitions quite often. Something happened here with, for Dennis Schöps. Very out of shape in the braking zone. A bit further ahead, Ben Spanky, who's in P7 in the yellow and green Mercedes. And he's fighting against Adam Pinces, P6. Spanky, the driver from Slovakia, against Pinces from Hungary. Trying around the outside, Bunky. We see the aggressive Bunky today again, already caused a massive crash. This time he should get the position fairly. Pinces is squeezing him a little bit. Bunky is squeezing him back. And Bunky is passed up to P6. Hasse is coming to the pits. So the first one of the leaders. Hasse was in second before. Changing rear tires, and you have to change only 2 tires in the pit stop. You can change either the fronts or the rears. Well, you can also change all 4, but it's kind of pointless. Ina is also in the pit lane. Moritz Löhner is still out in front. And Moritz Löhner actually has lapped Doug Desan. Doug Desan having a few issues here. Already picked up some damage before. Oh, now he's coming up right in front of a massive battle group. Martin Bahner in the middle of it. Ottaviani in front of him. And Michael Rechel behind him. Martin Bahner, one of the surprises pretty much of the last season. He was top 10 overall in Esports WTCR. He was top 10 overall in the Cupra Sim Racing Series as well. Didn't necessarily expect that. And Doug Desan there moving out of the way. Good back marking from him. I think he's fully stationary at the moment. Close battles throughout the field. This is P18. Pablo De Stefanis. Gets Florian Hasse! Ooh, almost takes him out there. Florian Hasse on the new tires has already pitted. He was second before, and that was a dive and a half there from Pablo De Stefanis. Didn't quite work out though. Ooh, and he gets penalized for it immediately. Let's see if he can get out of the gravel here. Can, and there's the Mercedes of Faring Dennis coming up. Hungarian. Up to P18 now at the moment. Pinces should be in the pit lane. I think Neck is in the pit lane as well. So the driver's still pitting here. Just to give you an overview, since you still can't see the timing, of course. Moritz Löhner in first, Ottaviani in second, then Bahner, Rechel, and Ben Spanky with a gap. From the cars that have pitted, Florian Hasse is in P15, so he's the first one out there. Bit of a mistake there from Martin Bahner. That was close. Rechel almost drove into him, and he lost all of the momentum coming out of the hairpin. So we see Stefanis retiring from the race. This is the battle for P3 at the moment, but we might see Hasse be ahead of him after the pit stop sequence. But Hasse maybe lost also some time when he was fighting with De Stefanis before. Andy 5th, Whitwood 6th, then Sokovikov and Caserta, and that's quite a good battle. Marcelo Caserta, team owner of Absolute Motorsport. He was in the final himself, as we can see there, Whitwood coming into the pits. Caserta was in the final himself of the Cupra E-Racing competition, so a very capable driver as well, ahead of Hofmann. Whitwood is pitting as Rechel is pitting as well. He's changing the rear tires, just like Florian Hasse did. Rechel, of course, had to miss the entire GT Masters season last year after he got a podium in the 2019 season. Quite a shame. Vision disabled in the pit lane. Yeah, looks like a pit stop for Michael Rechel there. Not sure if the pit lane bug is affecting anyone here. We can't. Balázs Schlossmann in the Mercedes, letting him through there. Rechel came out behind Florian Hasse. Florian Hasse, that's the Audi right in front of him in the picture. And is that gap enough for Hasse to stay ahead of Ottaviani though? Be hard to tell. But it looked like Ottaviani made a small mistake there because Bana has caught up to him. Mackenberg in the... Oh, Mackenberg in the wall. That is turn 1. And that does not look like he's going to get out of there. So, Lerner still leading by 5 seconds. He hasn't pitted yet. And Ottaviani in second and Bana is coming in. So this will be interesting. We will watch it from the point of view from Florian Hasse. So Florian Hasse, just to give you context, P12 at the moment. First car that has already pitted. And he was P2 before he went into the pits. But of course, early pit stop might not work out. And Pablo Di Stefanis also got a little bit involved with him on, you know, when he was back out in the traffic. Bana in the pits, Sokovikov in the pits as well. Let's see if we can see the green Porsche of Martin Bana at any time. There he is. Oh, that will be close. That will be close. Hasse has a better run here, but he has the outside line. Martin Bana on the inside. Hasse on the outside. Hasse with the warm tires. Bit of contact there. Hasse not leaving him a lot of room. But Bana was trying to get in there. Oh, and Bana's hanging on. That could be good for Bana. Better brakes on the Porsche, I think. Let's see the top speed if the Audi has an advantage here. But it looks like Bana is going to take the position from Florian Hasse. And that could that will help Ottaviani, of course, a lot in the fight for P2. Bana on the inside, Hasse on the outside. Hasse late on the brakes. Oh, great move by Hasse. He will get the run, but he goes a bit wide there. Hasse a bit off track. And it seems like Bana has the position. Let's see if Hasse can hold on here. No, he can't. Bana now. Up to P10 provisionally, but that should be P3 overall once the pit stop sequence is over. Hasse is trying once again on the inside. Oh, bit of contact there with Bana. Tapping him, but Hasse loses the momentum himself. Brings Rechel very close again. Hasse, wow, over the grass there on the inside. Not quite take the momentum with him though. Now into the Motodrome. This corner will be very hard for the Porsche. Very good line there. Very good line, very committed. And Hasse on the grass there, Hasse on the gravel. Loses the place to Rechel as well. So Florian Hasse with the oldest tires and now also lost 2 positions. And this is all music in the ears of Alessandro Ottaviani, of the Italian who's driving for Virtual Drivers by TX3. Who's just sitting here in P2. 5 seconds behind Moritz Löhner. Okay, well, he's the champion from the GT Masters. It can happen. But, yeah, on course for P2 in the race. Hofmann now in the pits. Greivi also in the pits in the same livery. These are pitting as well. Let's see if we've got anyone who moved up a lot in the pit stop sequence. I think Sokovikov had a very decent pit stop. Russian driver. Behind Hofmann though. And we can see Kirill Sokovikov at work. At the front they're all still out. Classification at the moment. Löhner, Ottaviani, Banki, Caserta, Christa Jöns, Benedek, Dennis Scherps, Martin Bana and Michael Rechel. And Martin Bana, of course, is the first one who has already pitted. Happened there. Alan Pinsesh and Luciano Wittwood. A little bit close. Löhner's in the pits. Ottaviani is also in the pits. That means Banki takes the provisional lead. Banki, who would be pretty certain that he will get a few strikes here. So that's another good topic to talk about. That is the penalty system. Of course, you know, in the esports we usually have a report system where drivers can send an incident report And then stewards will take a look after the race. In DTM we even had live stewarding. What we're testing here now is the automatic penalty system that's also used in ranked multiplayer. See, Bana. Where's Ottaviani? Ottaviani lost a lot of time. He's behind Bana. He's behind Rechel. That is crazy. And we also lost Florian Hasse. He's out of the race completely. So maybe he was one of the guys who picked up a pit lane bug. It's a shame for him. That's also a shame for Ottaviani. But now Martin Bana is actually on course for P2 in this race. Crazy things happening here. Tiladina, meanwhile, up to P16, trying to make his way up the order again. But yeah, we have an incident limit. Maybe Hasse was caught up by that as well. Running with 40 incidents for this race. And of course that can happen quickly. If you cut the track, if you get into a collision with another car, it can really happen quickly, especially on a track like Hockenheim where it's very easy to get track limit offenses. But yeah, we just wanted to use it once, try it out, how it could be used in esports. Probably thinking at the moment that it's not going to be used in the top divisions because it can be exploited, and we think it makes a lot more sense to have the stewards there. But perhaps if we go to championships, which will have more servers, you know, which will not have one server for the best drivers, maybe a few different divisions there, then it could be great. You know, because right now the stewarding is a lot of effort, of course, and if we have 4 servers and we have races like 3 races every week, stewarding will take forever. We had like races where we had 60 incident reports, and that really sums up. So, of course, trying to find a solution, and also to find a solution that helps all of the drivers, and not just the best. Boris Löhner, up to P3 already, despite having pitted. Only Banki and Christa Jöns in front of him. That is Christa Jöns. This is the new Audi R8 LMS Evo. Let's go on board in the cockpit here. Cockpit that Christa Jöns knows because he drove this car in real life for EFP Car Collection by TECE. It's a team with the yellow and black cars, or yellow and blue cars in the GT Masters. You probably know them if you play a lot of RaceRoom from the GT Masters 2018 pack. So he drove a couple of races, also drove in the past for other teams. And it's great to see a few guys with real-life racing experience bringing it to the simulation. And he's doing a decent job. He's just 10 seconds behind Ben Spunky. So that's quite impressive. That's Dr. Zan. He's having a lot of issues. Getting led by Tamzarian now. Balin Benedek, one of the last drivers to pit. Benedek, he was a permanent participant in the 2019 ADAC GT Master season. Not qualify for the last season. Ooh, Tamzarian there. Thinking that he could maybe hit him, but collisions are disabled, of course, in the pit lane. The McLaren driver now trying to take a stop, but I'm not seeing his car getting lifted up there, so maybe there's something wrong for him. Either way, oh yeah, he's still trying to find the pit box. I don't think he did a pit stop. That was very strange. Benedikt Hofmann, closest battle on track, battle for P8. Caserta in front of him in the black and red Porsche. And then behind him, it's Kirill Sokovikov, that's our camera car, as Caserta just goes off the circuit. Just 2 positions to the Porsches, and Pinsash in the Audi right behind him. Pinsash also not with the greatest of races here. For a guy who's a race winner on RaceRoom Esports. He won the Endurance Team Challenge in 2019. Very successful driver. Top 10 in GT Masters, top 10 in Well, not the GT Masters, top 10 in WTCR, of course, top 10 in the Cupra series. Yeah, not top 10 at the moment though, but I think a few guys still have to pit, like Dennis Schöps, for example, who's running in P7. Bunky, our race leader, also still has to pit. Dennis Schöps is in the pits now, in the BMW. There we have Bunky again. Dennis Schöps now coming out of the pits. Just behind Balázs Schlossmann. He's down to P18, so he lost a lot of time. Closest battle again with Sokovikov on the inside. Oh, everyone overshooting the corner there. Sokovikov now side by side on the exit with Benedikt Hoffmann. Sokovikov in green, Hoffmann in white and yellow. There's Sokovikov leaving the space. Hoffmann not going for it aggressively. And behind them, Pinsesh in the Audi. Oh, Pinsesh! Straight into the back there of Sokovikov. Giving back the time. They have to watch out with the incident limit, of course. That would be a big incident for both of the drivers, of course. Pinsesh moving ahead of Hoffmann there, getting a bit sideways, not having a good exit. Gives Sokovikov a little bit of time. 13 minutes still on the clock, meanwhile. As Caserta is trying to push his way there up the inside of Benedikt Hoffmann. Off the circuit again from Sokovikov. Pinsesh also doesn't have a good run. Pinsesh almost losing it over the curb. Tanzeri coming out of the pits again. He finally has done his pit stop there, but it seems like he has some problems. He's pulling over to the side again. We can see Caserta now. So this is the car in P10, Marcelo Caserta, the black Porsche here at the end of the group. Hoffmann in the white and yellow Porsche ahead, and Pinsesh in the Audi and Sokovikov in the green Manthey Porsche, leading this group. Leader of the race still the Mercedes of Benz Bunky, but he hasn't pitted. Moritz Löhner in P3, in the Audi he has. And once again, side by side there, Pinsesh almost losing it on the throttle. Now losing a lot of time there to Sokovikov as a result, but Pinsesh, he's trying to get up into P7. Looking back from Sokovikov. I don't think Hoffmann is out of it, because Pinsesh has made quite a few mistakes. It's Baldi, not Baldi, of course. What am I saying? Bunky, his big rival, Benz Bunky, has been in the pit lane, coming out in P5. Christer Jöns also in the pits, and Bunky is right behind Ottaviani. So that strategy seems to have worked out for him. He's also got now 2 very fresh tires. Christer Jöns is dropping out of the top 10. If you tuned in late, we have a small problem with the overlays, unfortunately. It just died at the start of the race, so yeah, no overlays for you. I'm trying my best to keep you up to date on the order of the race, as now everyone has pitted. Moritz Löhner is leading the race, the Audi driver, champion of the ADAC GT Masters Esports, champion of DTM Esports. No surprise to see him in P1. 5 seconds behind him, Martin Barner in second. Then Rechel. Oh, and we have to jump to the fight for P6, because Pinsesh seems to have overtaken Sokovikov, but Sokovikov just goes straight back. Big move by the Russian here. On board with him now. Pinsesh and Benedikt Hoffmann there. As Pinsesh goes over the anti-cut on the inside of the Mercedes Arena corner. in corners, but he's already 12 seconds behind Ben Spunky, so P6 is probably the best he can hope for. And with 9 minutes 28 seconds remaining, he really has to watch out, because Princess is looking quite quick. Mr. Jöns came out in P16. I suspect that he changed 4 tires and not 2, because he was running a little bit higher before the pit stop. That didn't quite seem to have worked out for him. Princess again trying, but he's on the outside. Doesn't work yet. Hoffmann and Caserta are both pretty close now. Let's check with our helicopter. Caserta and the black Porsche there. 4th of this group. He could try something. Sergio has to brake much harder than he wanted to. Hoffmann now gets a good run. Bottled Hoffmann. Oh, and Rechel is in trouble. That's Michael Rechel retiring from the race. Oh, that's a shame. He was running in P3 and he's out. Ottaviani now back in the top 3. This battle still raging on now for P5. Who would have thought? Sokovikov in the top 5 and Pincic wants to get in there. The car still running. Tim Zeri in the last one at the moment in the McLaren. Bit further back, because good battles are everywhere. Dennis Schoeps in the BMW in P17, fighting with Balázs Flossmann. In the AMG in P16 there, in the red car ahead. Side by side, a little bit of door banging. Better line for Flossmann, but the BMW should be strong in this corner, and there you can see it. Schoeps gets the inside, oh, full commitment there. Presses his way through up to P16. Back to Pincech, because he's launching another attack on Sokovikov. 7 minutes to go. Sokovikov on the inside, Pincech on the outside. Hit on the braking, could work. Gets a good run out of the corner. Beautiful move there, Adam Pincech. Up to P5, the Hungarian. Nice stuff. A bit further behind, Krivy against Benedek. Krivy in white, Benedek in green. Behind him, Attila Dina, the pole sitter, who was brutally robbed of his chances in the hairpin after a collision with Ben Spunky. Only in P13, Max Pfeiffer also only. In P14, even behind this group. Back from Benedek now, looking at the car from Ville Krivy. These kinds of corners are pretty scary in the Porsche, because you have a lot of understeer and the car is kind of unpredictable in the mid-speed corner, so you just have to commit and hope that it sticks. A lot easier to drive in the front-engine cars, and I think also a bit easier in the Audi, which is hard in other ways. And yeah, Benedek holding on to P11 behind Neck. 8.5 seconds ahead of them, Aska in the top 10. And Löhner, of course, still leading the race in his Audi, ahead of Bana and Ottaviani. Seems like we will get a battle for P3 between Alessandro Ottaviani, in the picture here, and Ben Spunky, because Ben Spunky seems to be catching up. Something happened here to Arthur Langenfeld. It looks like a disqualification for him. Perhaps too many incidents. Perhaps something with the pit stop. Spunky is still closing in on Ottaviani. 4 minutes 50 seconds to go. And the balance of Ottaviani's car is not looking so great. Lots of oversteer here. Very little traction control, of course. You can change it, but only between their existing presets. So on the Porsche, I would expect most drivers to drive with the 20%. traction control, but some might try on 0. And the way Ottaviani has been driving here looks more like 0. And Spunky, the Mercedes, he has to choose pretty much between 20 or 40%. 0% not a good idea. Ottaviani again with a mistake, overshooting the corner. But the Porsche is just so good. Gonna run out of the corners here, you can see it. You can just see the power of the Porsche. But it didn't quite hurt him. Ottaviani defensive. He tries to get a cutback, but no chance to get a cutback on the Porsche. This is the battle for P3. 3 minutes 40 seconds to go. Alessandro Ottaviani just holding on ahead of Ben Spunky. Spunky with the fresher tires, but Spunky already has been in an incident in this race. Perhaps some damage on this car. But it doesn't look like it, the pace that he's going. 38.8 from Spunky, the fastest lap. 38.6 from Ottaviani. That's just 1/10 of the fastest lap from the race leader, from Moritz Löhner. Pretty impressive stuff. But Ottaviani has been pretty wild in some of the corners. Here again, there's a bit of oversteer actually when he goes on the power. Not looking quite close enough, so we can talk a little bit about Moritz Löhner. Is he still in the lead of the race? Well, we can't. There's another battle side by side in the first corner. P13, Max Pfeiffer in the blue Audi, but he overshoots a bit. Wille Krivy in the Porsche gets the run on him. Great racing here. The Pfeiffer's later on the brakes. Yes, he is. Yes, he is indeed, and he takes P13. Down to the hairpin. I'm still watching if Monkey is going for an attack, but it doesn't seem like it, so we can focus a little bit on this battle here. Yeah, Neck actually in front. Oh, he's collided. Neck and Whitwood have collided there. That's a shame. Let's see with Krivy and Pfeiffer. Krivy has the inside. Pfeiffer on the outside. Good driving there from Krivy. That's still gonna be pretty close. Still gonna be pretty close with 1 minute 40 to go. Krivy should just about hold on. Can he slot in front? Yes, he can. Nice stuff there. But he overshoots the next corner. What a shame. And that's Pfeiffer taking the position with a lot of commitment on the outside. Bunky now back, right behind Ottaviani. And that should be the last lap of the race. So Moritz Löhner on his way to victory. Second place, Martin Barner. And then this is the battle for third, Ottaviani versus Spunky. Who's gonna take it? The Porsche driver from Italy or the AMG driver from Slovakia? Porsche always so good on the run here, out of the corners. Spunky coming close. Ottaviani fully defending. He tries on the outside. Good driving there from Bunky. That could work. The Porsche's got such a massive run always. Of course, rear engine cars gets the traction there. Bunky just can't seem to pass Ottaviani. Doesn't get past him. Ottaviani also placing his car pretty well. Just checking on Moritz Löhner as he's about to lap Ferenc Dennis. Because he is going to take the victory here of the RaceRoom Esports test race. At least in the GT3 race, WTCR still coming up afterwards. Löhner pretty close. Bunky, is he going for it? No, he can't find a way. So, congratulations to Moritz Löhner. First victory of the season for him. Nice job. Second place, Martin Barner in the Porsche. Very impressive result. Very encouraging for the season. And then Ottaviani versus Bunky. Who's gonna take it? Who's gonna take it? Looks like Ottaviani, but Bunky's close. Yes, Ottaviani in third, Bunky in fourth place. Nice job there. Then we've got Adam Pinsesh rounding out the top 5. Sokovikov in 6th. And then also very close, Hofmann and Caserta. Caserta crossing the line in P8. Bitvolt, after colliding with Mia and Neck on the last lap in P9. Neck in 10th. Then Benedek and Attila Dina, who was in pole position. Probably a bit disappointed by this. But hey, it's just a test. If you take a pole position here in such a race, it just shows a good season is going to come up afterwards. X5 and P13. And Willem Kleivi. Christa Jöns in the P15. Dennis Scherps is going to take P16 in the BMW. Right behind him, Bader Schlossmann. And already across the line, the last finishers. Baring Dennis and Armin Tamzarian. Oof, big lag there from Moritz Löhner. Let's better go away from here before we see even more drama unfold. But yeah, that's the race of the GT3s already over, and we will switch to the WTCR class in just a moment. We're trying, of course, to restart our server overlay to get this back for the race, so you can enjoy this race with a little bit more info. But already, thanks a lot for for staying here with me during the first race, and hope you stay on for the WTCR race as well. So yeah, just give me a moment. Trying to sort that out, and yeah, I will be back. We are back, and what could be more beautiful than a Lada? WTCR, but also the cars of the TC Cup are available here for the race at the Hungaroring. 14 laps, and then the 1 lap super sprint race to test the session swap in the reverse grid. And we had so many signups for this race. They're actually going to be 2 servers. So that's pretty fun, and we're here at the second server at first because we will show the race of the first server, but just wanted to give these drivers a little bit of exposure as well. Who's on the screen, that's Christian Orban from Hungary, regular driver in the esports competitions, especially in the Cupra Sim Racing Series, was in server 1, I think in Dubai. Good to see him here. Taimi Benchik is currently in first, the fastest lady on RaceRoom. She's in the pit lane in the Cupra. Csaba Vaga in the Volkswagen in second, and then Scott Sovik, the Norwegian, for Ballas Racing Team, who I raced with like 8 or 9 years ago already. He's in P3. Great to see. Also great to see Sultan Shuti, Esports WTCR race winner, having in his own car that he drove in the Mira Esports in Hungaroring Esports Championship. hoping for some good news from this championship. And yeah, we've got plenty of different cars here, good variety. New Cupra as well here, Max Pfeiffer, Volkswagen, Mihainek, and of course Lincoln Cole, Balazs Flossmann. Also got a few Audis. And yeah, of course the Hyundai and an Alpha that's standing in the pit lane. Theo Julie. The Alpha has 1 kilo of ballast weight. This was the fastest car on the leaderboard, and we also wanted to try that. And great to see Thiago Baldi, Esports WTCR champion. And that car that you see there on the screen, that car exists in real life as well, and Thiago Baldi tested it. He won the Hungarian Esports competition. That means he will drive in real cars in the upcoming racing season. And the Mira team has pretty much this TCR car in real life as well, so great to see that. Yeah, this is the second server, and as I mentioned before, we are not going to stream the second server today. We are going to stream the first server. So we have to say goodbye to our Esports WTCR champion. We have to say goodbye to all of these drivers here, as we are going to take a take a little jump into the first server, and then we will see the WTCR test race, the Esports test race there as well. Big thanks still to everyone who's watching here. And also big thanks to the overlay for returning to me. Let's hope it will also return to me on the second server. So just a few seconds and we will be back on the first server. There we go, no beautiful Lada on the first server, but at least we've got the Honda. Adam Sagiva, the Hungarian, also part of Balazs Esports. That team has got a lot of drivers, man. Absolute Motorsport and Virtual Drivers by TX3 would be proud. But yeah, here we are on the first grid. Adam Sagiva currently in 4th position, if you can believe the timing. I don't believe anyone today. And let's see when they go to the qualifying. Michael Rechel is first in the Audi, but he's in the pits. Matija Markovic, one of the shooting stars of the last Esports WTCR season, in 2nd in the Hyundai. And then one of our old friends, Mark Nanduri, 4th place in the very first season that we did here. Esports WTCC. It's in 3rd. Hyundai. Would be great to see him back this season, getting some good results. But yeah, even in this race it will be hard when you look at the other drivers. Benz Banki, good here. Adam Pinsich as well. And of course Ottaviani, who did a great race in the GT3s. Pietro Veneri from Balazs Racing Team, he's another one that we could see quite far up the front, at the front. Martin Bana, of course, in the Audi. Also Luciano Whitwood, perhaps. Regular driver in Server 1, Esports WTCR, and in the Cupra Sim Racing Series. And we've got an older Cupra as well. Damien Jensen from Denmark. Ah, that's King Carrot. It's a guy from the Discord server, up to P4. Or maybe P9. As I said, this overlay today still hasn't really fully returned from the winter holidays, so yeah, let's see how this goes. Couple of new drivers here. Alexander Kosyakov from Russia, he's one of them in the Cupra. Matteo Catalan as well. Italian, of course, in the Alfa Romeo. Alessandro Tognin we've seen in a few times in the last season in the Cupra. Then goes for Fabio Tirelli. He's in the Honda. And actually, Doug Dezan was in the Audi in the GT3 race. He's joined in the Cupra as well. And Sultan Shuti was just on the other server. Now has found his correct server and will take the race here. Take part in the race here as well. The first grid. That's Michael Rechel. That's the fastest driver. Currently in the practice session, 50.784. And you can be sure he can go even faster. He actually put in quite some practice. And it's understandable because he missed the whole last season. So he had to do a little bit more to get back up to pace. And these cars also have seen a little bit of a modification in the last patch, of course. So, yeah, a little bit different for all of the drivers. Tire temperatures are the main thing that's going to become crucial. Rechel was fastest in the Alfa Romeo on the leaderboard. But he chose the Audi, his favorite car of the class. You can see Ville Kreivi from Finland. Good to see some of these drivers also on the broadcast. Ville Kreivi always in the servers like server 3 or so in the Cupra Sim Racing series, and unfortunately the servers aren't broadcasted, so it's a nice opportunity for him here to show himself to the world of RaceRoom. Maybe also show himself to some teams. I think, you know, some guys might have watched Martin Barnas or Alessandro Ottaviani's performance there. Raised a few eyebrows in the first test race. Moritz Löhner, of course, that was no surprise. And Moritz, he's not driving here in the WTCR race. Looking to focus on the rear-wheel drive cars. Maybe not a bad strategy. Well, to be honest, he was second in the Cupra Sim Racing series. Not like he was slow in these cars. It seems like on the rear-wheel drive he's just a little bit stronger even. Just winning all the titles. At least that was the case last year. So once again, Sultan Shuti in the Hyundai, in his very own Hyundai. The AI driver also has his name. One minute left in the practice session, so what is coming up? We should have a closed qualifying session. That's another thing that we will test. The drivers don't see the other drivers, and they also start like on the leaderboard. Caused a few problems last season. Esteban Guerreri will remember that. So definitely one of the things that we need to test for the upcoming seasons. And then we should have a 14-lap race with a standing start where you can jump to start. That was not the case before. Everyone was able to get a perfect start, especially with the launch control as well. But now it gets a little bit more tricky. Paul and Benedek exploring the track limits a little bit. Of course, also in this race we ran with the 40 incident limit and with slowdowns on. Session is over now. As we go, qualifying has started. Ben Spunky is one of the first guys who gets going in his old Honda there. Surprised he didn't take the 2018 version with the livery in which he won the championship title. By the way, starts his lap and the timer runs, so that's looking pretty good. That's better than last year. Spunky takes you around to Hungarian. Let's go on board with him. Turn 1, overshoots a little bit. Braking very difficult now, because it's not quite linear on the brakes, and Bunky already abandons this lap. So let's see with Michael Rechel. Coming up to the second corner. Important to take a lot of, to use the downforce here of the cars. It's using a lot of lock on the turn-in. It's across the grass here, but that's fine. Two wheels still on the track or on the curb, which counts as track there. Over the sector line, 38.8 in the first sector. Using the track limits pretty well. It's again very high lock on the apex. There's the chicane. Number one source of track limits. And Michael Rechel experiences just that. So we go to Martin Barner then. Third time's the charm. AAA Esports driver from Hungary. He has made it through the most difficult bit of the circuit. Exit here looks pretty clean. Uses the curb on the outside. Finishing his first lap of the qualifying session. 1 minute 50.4. And that's provisional pole. Ottaviani in second. Vinieri in third. Then Benedek. See if Sultan Shuti is about to improve on that. Pretty close in the first sector. I think Markovic is already a bit further around the lap. Yes, indeed he is in the Hyundai. Andori, the fastest Hyundai at the moment. Markovic only P7. Bit of a surprise there. What does Fabio Tirelli do? The Italian in the Honda. Bit further down. A lot over the curb on the inside. Up to P4, nice lap. Sultan Shuti. Hungarian. Driving for Mira Esports on a decent lap, but not quite as fast as Martin Barner. Or Ottaviani. Goes to P3. Of course, we don't know how the balance of performance exactly is going to play out. On the leaderboard, the Alphas looked very strong, the Audis looked very strong, the Hyundai didn't look that strong on this circuit, but they never really were. It's just Garibaldi who always shown here. But in general, there are other circuits where the Hyundai is a little bit better. Bunky improved to P4 and Michael Rechel goes to pole position. Just 1400s ahead of Martin Barner, so that's pretty close. Ooh, and that's pretty fast into the wall there. Rechel not happy with P2, as he won't be able to set another lap time because the counter is already at just 1 minute. And as you know on RaceRoom, when the timer hits 0, qualifying session is over. In Sesh, P10 at the moment in Hyundai. With Cupra in the last Esports WTCR season. On the Hyundai, not quite on the pace yet. Place in P7. Looks like Rechel did take pole. I completely read that the other way around. That Barner took pole, but of course it is Michael Rechel who took the pole position, but Barner can still finish the lap. Purple sector there, but this time this purple sector doesn't seem to mean anything. Maybe it does for Ben's Bunky though. In the final sector now, and that's a healthy gap in the second sector. Qualifying results coming up, and yeah, the timer has gone too far already. Bunky won't be able to finish the time, so he will start on P4. Car already going to the pit lane, so Rechel on pole, Barner on second place. All Audi front row, then Ottaviani, then Bunky, then Shuti in the fastest of the Hyundai. Mark Dandori in P6. 7. Adam Sagiva, good result from him, from the Ballas Esports driver, ahead of Pinsesh, ahead of Markovic, and ahead of Tirelli. Some drivers that we certainly expected to be ahead. Ooh, that's not looking good for overlay. I have my concerns about the overlay, because that garage timer does not seem very accurate. Let's see, 14 laps are coming up. Michi Rechel in the blue Audi. Bana will be in the grey one. I was joining the grid. They've got 60 seconds. Normally we should see the timer. This time we don't see it. Oh, there we go, and still with an overlay as well. Ottaviani in third. Lights are red. Lights out, and this is the first start where you could jump to start, but it seems like no one's doing it. Rechel in the lead, Bana immediately under pressure. Oh, contact between Ottaviani and Bana there. Ottaviani takes second. Nice job from the Italian, but Rechel still in the lead. On board with Michael Rechel here. Uiuiuiuiuiui, Rechel goes wide. Bana goes for the inside, almost 3 wide there for a moment, and Ottaviani's in the lead. The Cupra driver is in the lead of the race. And Schuti already up to P4 in the Hyundai, in the white and black one there. Oh, this test race is starting pretty feisty already. Schuti's on the attack immediately. He's got Bunky behind him, former world champion, of course, in Esports WTCR. But he's on the attack. And also a warm welcome to Thomas, my colleague. You all know him as the commentator from the GT Masters Championship, of course. He will be back with a lot of esports this year. Let's see if he will also commentate on some front-wheel drive action this time. Lots of front-wheel drive action going to come up in 2021, I am sure. Both on the ranked servers, as on the leaderboards, and also, of course, in the esports. Few position changes further back. Pinsesh there in P10. And side by side behind him, Bagiva, who's lost a few places, and Vinieri. Oh, Fabio Tirelli. No, he didn't want to go into the pit lane there, but it seems like he has got no other choice now than to drive into the pit lane. It's a different interpretation of a mandatory pit stop. Sultan Schuti around the outside, trying against Martin Bana, who can't really convert his good quali pace. In the background there, Ben Spunky, he's also looking, he's also trying. We can't seem to be able to see the lap counter. That's something we can we have to remember. Oh, and that's been a cut from Suti, and we have to remember incident limit is on. 40 incidents, well, 40 incidents in a 14 lap race, that's still quite a bit. But he has to watch out here, especially with some contact with the other cars. In WTCR it can happen quickly, of course. Can't do it too often. Further back, Benedek. Huge battle there. Pinsesh with Vogt, Andri and Sagiva. Oi, Vinieri on the inside in the Lincoln Co. It doesn't work out. Actually, Sagiva gets out pretty well there. Andri now on the inside. With a bit of a push pass. He keeps the position in the top 10. Contact again, Sagiva there. Not leaving a lot of space on the apex. Sikon streaming down. Start finish straight. When that's Nandri losing his position there. Looking up on the braking, getting passed by Kosyakov in the Cupra. And there's also Catalan in the Alpha. In the Alpha with 1 kilo ballast weight. Probably discouraged a lot of drivers from taking it. Also battling pretty hard. Ottaviani is still leading. That is a surprise for me, because Michael Rechel was really quite a lot faster than anyone else on the leaderboard before this event. Ottaviani seems to be on the pace here as well. Especially in a Cupra, a car that we don't have so much reference from. Because it was in the Esports WTCR already last season and it had its own championship, but we didn't see it often, you know, like on ranked servers, on no leaderboards, on community leagues. We didn't see it so often drive against the other cars. And yeah, good to see that it's definitely competitive. Shooty, meanwhile, he's dropping back. Only in P5. Looks like he had a slowdown. In fact, you can get the alerts on for the slowdowns here. See if that's going to gives us a little bit more insight. Martin Barner there with the slowdown penalty. Ooh, he's right behind the leading duo here. Could definitely lose him some time. And Monkey, who also had a slowdown. Now back in the battle with Shooty. Who drives him for Nandri even. And big crash in turn 1. That was Catalan there. There was also Kosyakov. I was losing some places here. Krivy meanwhile up to P13. Through all of the chaos. And he's behind Jensen, and he looks like he's going to take the position as well. If he tries around the outside here, it could work, but it's dangerous. Jensen runs also wide a little bit. No way through yet. One slowdown for Krivy immediately because he went off the track. Slowdown also for Shooty. Lots of slowdowns here. Jensen and Nandori side by side. Jensen now also with a slowdown. I'm not sure if I want to keep this this alert on. It's a bit depressing. Battle for P2 now. Martin Barner. Despite his slowdown, he doesn't seem to have lost any time at all. Putting the pressure on Michael Rechel. And remember in the GT3 race, Barner, he was second. So he is having a very, very good pace here. Looking to be on form early. As he goes up the inside of Rechel. Bit of contact on the apex, but all fine. And he is up to P2. And the Markovic has actually passed the Shooty. Slowdowns continue. So now fighting for the last place in the top 10 against Vinieri in the only Lincoln Co on the track here. Nandri has retired. Tirelli, of course, has retired as well after his unexpected pit lane entry. And Matija Markovic has lost the place once again to Sultan Shooty. What is happening with Balin Benedek? Seems to be getting these slowdowns on a very frequent basis here in the race. Oh, and the slowdown for the leader. That could be crucial. Ottaviani. Will this allow Martin Barner to go through? I have no idea which lap it is. Oh, there it says. Lap 5 out of 14. So that's good to know. That at least on the tower on the left side you can still see it. And let's see if Ottaviani will lose the place now. braking here, very late. That's too late. That is too late. And that's the lead gone. Martin Barner takes lead of the race after a mistake from Alessandro Ottaviani. And somehow Vince Bunky is still super close to the whole battle group. Will we see the old master of the WTCR cars get his first win here in the test race? We'll have to pass 3 cars, but how fast the slowdowns can happen, it is definitely a possibility. There with the next one. Barner now. Oh, Barner with the slowdown. That's the leader, Martin Barner. Got 60 seconds to take the slowdown, and perhaps it was just a small one, like 0.1 seconds, and didn't actually have to do much, or it just went away under braking by itself. But we haven't really seen him slow down yet. Let's see if Ottaviani can retake the lead at the same place where he just made the mistake and where he lost it to Martin Barner 1 lap ago. Barner moving a little bit to defend. Ottaviani trying around the outside. Good brakes on the Cupra, but it's not quite enough. Looking back from Martin Barner now. We're on lap 7. Ottaviani has to correct there a lot. And then a little bit too early. Rechel now with the slowdown. Oh, and that should allow Bunky through immediately. And yes, indeed. Bunky up to P3. Now Bunky has gotten the slowdown. And doesn't seem to end. He will just keep eyes on something. Keep our eyes on something else here. Keep our eyes on Martin Barner. See how he navigates the track. We have got some close battles further behind. This seems to be the closest one at the moment. Mieri and Wittvold are kinda close. But not close enough. There's been a drive-through penalty, I think, for Kosyakov. No, it's not. It's also a slowdown penalty. But it says for continuing to abuse the track limits. Seems to be a much harsher one there. Yeah, you can see how much time he has to give back. Seems to be a massive slowdown. Catalan and the Alpha is catching up to him now. They will go side by side. On the straight, Catalan has to run. He will blame it all on the 1 kilogram of ballast weight after the race, I am sure. Made the Alpha absolutely undrivable. But yeah, I'm surprised there's just one Alpha. The Alpha really benefited the most out of all cars in the update. So yeah, I was kind of expecting an Alpha walkover here, but in the end, just Catalan chose it. Ottaviani and Rechel, who used it on the leaderboard, decided to show up in other cars. Martin Barner has gotten a slowdown once again. They have to watch out with the incident limit, of course. let's not forget about that. Incident limit of 40 is active here. And it hasn't been active in the eSport races before. Of course, drivers who drove a lot of ranked multiplayer will know it inside out. Know the flaws of it, know the advantages as well. But here, for some of these drivers, it will be the very first time that they are confronted with it. So, yeah. And that's a slowdown for Martin Bana, and that will be the lead change. That will be Alessandro Ottaviani taking the lead once again for Virtual Drivers by TX3, taking the lead in the Cupra. Lap 9 out of 14. Big thanks once again to everyone who's still there. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat if you have any. And of course, in the eSports series, then there will be 2 commentators for all of the series. That will be necessary as well. Because it's a lot of talking during one race. Oh, and there's Ottaviani once again running a little bit wide. That's Martin Bana on the inside, now side by side in the chicane. Ottaviani squeezing him a little bit. That was a little bit nasty there from Ottaviani. Just a tiny bit. Driving across the nose. But yeah, Bana probably used to it, gives the push back. Now they have to watch out for Ben Sabanki, of course, in the background. Ottaviani, he wants the victory. Hasn't won a race in an official esports competition at RaceRoom, but he has won a pretty good competition before, a hot lap competition. Oh, that's the attack from Martin Bana. That hot lap competition was in a different car. It was the Aragon competition. Oh, and now I should probably stop talking about Aragon. We need to talk about Martin Bana trying now around the outside in the final corner against Alessandro Ottaviani. Is that gonna work out? Is he gonna get enough of a run on the outside? But then he will have the outside again, of course, for the next corner. Ottaviani ultra defensive, going right up to the pit wall. And almost bump drafting him. I don't think he can get him on the brakes. That's the switchback. Oh, Bana late on the braking. Is Ottaviani gonna get the cutback once again? Yes, he is, but that was a good run by Bana. Seems to have just stayed inside the track limits as well. Ooh, bit of contact. Bana has the inside. Banki wants a piece of it in the Honda. And Bana's back in the lead. So on for Bana though. Is he gonna lose the lead immediately again? Now they're all over him. Michael Rechel certainly not out of it yet. Even Chuti, look how much. I mean, Chuti had like 5 slowdowns already in this race. And he's caught back up again. Even Markovic is not too far behind. He's just 2.4 seconds behind. So that would be a crazy end of the race here. Rechel actually the closest one. Making a move. Ottaviani now in the front. That's Banki was trying there. Now everyone's together again. Chuti is trying against Michael Rechel. I think it's a promising return for Michael Rechel. Of course, he was already on the Cupra E-Racer. But that also still shows that he's got... wow. Whoa. Trying around the outside there. Zoltan Chuti immediately into the slowdown, of course. But yeah, Rachel still has a little bit of room for improvement, especially after his DNF in the GT3 race. And now Markovic is fully caught up as well, once again. Another slowdown for Shooty, and that could be a big one as well. Yeah, he is pulling over. Giving back a lot of time there. Let's see what happens at the front. Bana and Ottaviani, they've been at it for quite a few corners. Ooh, bit of a bump there from Bana. As Deason is coming to the pits. And Bana now has the inside, but Ottaviani better run out of the corner. Maybe Bana let him back through there. Fascinating battle here for the victory. Maybe shows a little bit which drivers we have to keep an eye out. Oh, that's gonna be the slowdown for Ottaviani. That's gonna be Martin Bana up the inside anyway. Bana back into the lead in the Audi. Ottaviani trying to hold on around the outside. It's not gonna work. Is he gonna go for the inside in the chicane? Oh, not quite. Monkey actually is right behind him. That's another slowdown for Ottaviani. That's now quite a big lead for Martin Bana, and that's a big slowdown for Ottaviani. Now he has to let all of them through. Even Markovic is going to take the position. What a shame for Alessandro. Martin Bana almost with the 1 second lead. Just went over 1 second actually. Monkey, yeah, we spoke about it. Can he take the victory here? Perhaps he can already up to second, but looks like Michael Rechel is more likely to make a move on him. And he is to make a move on Martin Bana. Coming back from Banky. He was thinking about it. There's Ottaviani going for a pass on Markovic. He was so mighty on the braking. But it's another slowdown for Ottaviani at the same time, so Markovic just gets the position back. Looking a bit further back. Luciano Bitvoet, outside the top 10, running in P11. Gaps are relatively big for a WTCR race. So might have been a few incidents, a few slowdowns of course, happening. Gary ahead of him. And Sagiva. Yeah, and he's behind Benedek. He's the third of the Hondas at the moment in the race. I'm really surprised that Pinsesh isn't further ahead. P7 is not where I would expect him to be. Yeah, we've also seen Shooty here having a lot of problems with the track limits that have been made a bit more strict. Ottaviani as well actually, despite his good pace. And here's Kosyakov and Catalan, fighting for P15 but still going hammer on top. Catalan retiring from the race. And that's also Bana. Is it really the final lap now? We can't really tell because it's the first time we have got this sort of counter. Doesn't look like it. It seems like this will be the final lap now. And Martin Bana with a good lead, 1.3 seconds over Ben Spanky, over the 2018 Esports WTCR champion. What a shame for Alessandro Ottaviani. Takes the slowdown on the racing line there. That's not how you should do it. And Shuti just runs into him. I was thinking about the retirement of Catalan. It could be, of course, the incident limit as well that caught him out, because he, you know, after cutting the chicane, he braked very abruptly. Problems with the incident limits for the drivers in the front, even though Banki also had gotten just a slowdown. Michael Rechel behind him, maybe closing up a little bit. Right up to the edge there, a little bit over actually. It seems like no one can stop Martin Bahner here from taking the victory in the Esports Test Race 2021. A good sign for the upcoming seasons. Driving in the Audi here for AAA Esports after a strong race in the GT3. An even stronger race in the WTCR. Martin Bahner, congratulations to him. If we can believe the timer, and yes, I think we can. Across the line. Rechel goes up to second because Banki's got a slowdown. Wow. Did Banki take it? We will see in the results, or if he's dropping even further back. Akovic up to P4. Nice race from him. Really clean race. Juti beats Ottaviani in the end. Finsish, Benedek, Zagiva, and Venieri rounding out the top 10. And that should be the pole position for the one-lap super sprint that is coming up. If we survive the session swap, that is, of course. Bitvolt in 11th. Then Krivy, Jensen, Tognin, Kosyakov, and Doc Design. But yeah, great race from Martin Bahner. Congratulations to him, and Michi Rechel in the end, even in P2. Cars a little bit stuck in each other there on the outlap. But at least we haven't seen this massive pile-up at the end of the races. Uy. I'm not sure if that's the AI driving or if Balint is still behind the wheel. One of the things that is possible now, but it's not the server setting, it is the user setting. Balint Benedek is trying to make his car disappear inside the car of Ben Spanky. Still waiting, I think, for last one to finish. Not Dizan. I'm not sure what we're waiting on here. Either way, this is the winner, Martin Bahner. And there we have the results. Fastest lap goes to Michael Rechel. Ben Spanky, the second fastest lap of the race. Yeah, and really good run by Matija Markovic there. P4. Just kept his nose clean in the Hyundai. Overtook the drivers that got too many slowdowns. And yeah, Leon, let's see what happens in the one-lap super sprint. It seems like we survived the session swap, which is already pretty good. Seems like our overlay is also still with us. And that's an improvement on the GT3 race. So this will be the final lap of the evening. Then that's it for the test race. Then we will meet again, hopefully all of the bugs fixed, at the next eSport event. And there you can see on the pole position, Lincoln Co. number 100, that's Venieri, Gianpietro Venieri, the Italian driver from Ballas Esports, starting alongside Adam Zagiva with Balint Benedek in the Honda with the number 9 in position 3. Lights are red. For a very long time this time. Oh, drive-through penalty for Ben's Bunky. False start there. It seems like Vinieri has gotten away pretty well. Zagiva on the inside. That's Ottaviani in the Cupra. Trying to move to the side. Oh, and that's the Hyundai almost rolling over. That was Adam Pinsesh. That was crazy. Just a few drivers, 17 still running. Ottaviani with his first slowdown of the race. Shooting in the middle there of Benedek and Bunky, I think. Didn't care about the drive-through at the start. Side by side over the grass. That's a big attack from Bunky. Shuti running wide there. Benedek also not quite hitting the corner. Side by side into the chicane. Here is still leading ahead of Zagiva. This is of course all-out action here, just one lap, so you have to make it count immediately. Benedek getting pushed a little bit there by Bunky. Echel in the background side by side with I think that's Pinsesh. Everyone's gotten a slowdown. Our tool can't keep up with it. Nieri still leading, looking good for him. Shooting in the middle of the action here. Oh, that's Whitworth running completely wide there. Markovic gaining positions once again. Can Benedek hold on to the podium? No, he can't. He's running wide. Shuti goes up the inside. And Ben Spunky as well. Final corner. Big push against Shuti there. And at the front of field, Gianpietro Vinieri is coming across the line. He wins the one-lap super sprint. In a crazy race. Adam Zagiva in second. And then there's our big pile-up. We were waiting for it. Eventually, it had to happen. Benedek in third, then Shuti and Bunky. Let's see how many penalty seconds he will get after the race. For obviously not taking his drive-through penalty, as Michael Rechelskar finds his way over the barrier there, disappearing into the eternal fall. Which seems to be the case for our entire server. So I think this is a perfect opportunity to end the stream. I would like to thank you all very much for watching. Of course, this was a test race, so some bugs were expected. And we got a few of them. We got a lot of things that we can work on, and of course in the upcoming esports competitions they will be fixed. And we will see a lot of racing action. I think that's the main thing that we can take away from the race today. It is going to get very exciting. We've seen two great races, fantastic battles, especially in the WTCR race. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it very much. So thank you all for watching. Leave a like and a subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my videos on my channel. I think the next one will probably come in a year. And yeah, in all seriousness, stay true to RaceRoom, drive in our competitions, try out the Ring multiplayer if you haven't done it yet. And enjoy yourself. Have a nice week. My name is Robert Wiesenmüller. Goodbye.